7:20, and it is in January the 27th, and we have our monthly faculty meeting. Our faculty meetings always follow the board meeting for the month. The board meeting was held on Monday, and at the faculty meeting this morning, I anticipate information given that was pertinent to the board meeting. We have a new associate principal that came at semester, so I anticipate that she'll discuss some things with the staff. I also look to go over, there was recently some issues with Skyward, and progress reporting, so that might be addressed as well. And we have some upcoming staff development, so in the January meeting sometimes that will be discussed as to what teachers will be doing. And it's normally faculty meetings, again, they're held monthly, and it's just informational, and it's just the principal letting the teachers and staff know just basically kind of what's going on, what to expect in the next coming weeks, and give us any reminders that we need. So, and they're normally pretty to the point, and we always try to start out by talking about some good things that are happening on campus to kind of, get everybody loosen up and in the mood, and just give everybody an opportunity to share some of the wonderful things our students are doing here. And I will be at the meeting shortly.
With good things,
Hopefully
and
they'll let her come
I
over.
think one of the better things going on is Hillary Zorowski had her baby, and I guess, do you want to give us an update on how Hillary's doing?
Oh, yeah. Mom and McKenna are both doing good. Getting on a schedule a little bit. She's sleeping well. She's eating a lot, and changing every day. So, great. We're very blessed. Thank y'all.
She keeping you up at night?
Not really. She's a good baby, man. She's a good dog.
You are
Also, good thing for the office, and which trickles down to you guys, we're Education First Credit Union. I think if you're a member there, if you go in, you nominate a school, and for each school that's nominated, they donate some money. So we've got a pool of money that's been donated to us, and I'm going for we received the check today from them. So that'll go into our activity fund, which helps do a lot of things for you guys when we have Christmas parties and those types of things at the end of the year. So that's another good thing. Anyone have anything else going on? No? Okay. Board meeting. A couple things. It is a legislative year, and Ms. Drawhorn is starting to get the budget in order. She's already looking for next year, but as far as will there be raises and all that kind of stuff, you never know what the legislator's going to do, and so it probably won't be until July, what she says, before we can make any of those types of decisions. So that's kind of what she said at the meeting. Also, one thing that we're going to do, which really needs to be done, is we're rekeying all of the schools. So intermediate, middle school, high school, rekeying all the doors, everything. If you look at my set of keys, it's about this big, and I don't put them in my pants anymore because it wore a hole in my pants because it weighs so much. I have to leave in my office in there. But every time when I come to school, I've got one set of keys opened up the front door, another set opened up, the door goes into the office, one into my office, one that goes in Miss Willett's office, one that goes to the library. I mean, there's not just one key. When this is done, well, I'll be able to have one key that can get into everything. So
we still have, of course, we'll have a key to our room. Will we still have a key to the front door?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. This is long overdue to do this. Annual audit report. There's an auditor there for our district, and they do it every year. with Ms. Drawhorn, and, again, got, rave reviews again. The auditors, as a matter of fact, Ms. Drawhorn does such a good job, the auditors use Ms. Drawhorn, the way she does things, as an example for other schools too, when they do their budget. So she does a real good job with the budget, and always has. Some TRS information was brought up, teacher retirement system. You know, I think in 20 years or 30 years, there's some unfunded liabilities there that could happen. And so what the legislature says is that they're going to cover a little bit of that, but they're going to eventually make each school district help contribute to paying for those unfunded liabilities. And we don't know what that's going to look like yet, how much money it's going to be. It could be a whole bunch, could be just a little bit, but that's something that you'll be hearing about TRS, teacher retirement system. That's pretty much it from the board meeting. I got a couple reminders on here. You know, you make sure whenever you have a subfolder with all your updated rosters, and if you got a new kid come in or someone leave, go ahead and print another copy so that's updated, so we have that. Let's see, attendance accounting, the grades, very important for a progress report or a report card. You know, we like to have at least 10 grades for the 6 weeks, but a progress report, we need to have more than 1 grade also, because 1 grade can, a kid may do real bad, and that could affect their eligibility in something. So you need to have a good amount of grades, not only for the 6 weeks report card, but for the progress report too. So just an FYI on that. We're starting to do some walkthroughs, lesson plans. It's one of the things we do is we look on there on Eduforia, and it shows whether you have your lesson plans on there or not. There still are some teachers that don't have their lesson plans on there, or they're not updated. So those need to be updated as soon as possible. In the classroom, cell phones. I know that we've been walking in some classrooms and kids have them, and then we're taking them, and I don't know if the teacher realizes the kids have them, but they're not supposed to have cell phones out in the classroom unless you're using it for instructional purposes. Some teachers use them for instructional purposes, but they don't need to be putting them on as headphones when they're finished either. And so it's causing a problem because some teachers are taking them up, and other teachers are not. And you got kids sitting there playing on their cell phones. And then I think you walked in and picked up a couple. So,
Well,
right.
it's hard to fight that battle when they say, this teacher lets me and this teacher doesn't,
And if you have allowed that to happen, you need to just have a conversation with your students saying, listen, guys, there's no more cell phones. This is what's happening. We can't do this.
Board policy states during lunch.
And another thing, question, drinks in the classroom. We're going to get this water machine up here because, our water machine up there puts out orange water. So we're trying to help the kids out.
Thanks.
But my thought is, we can allow them to get the water, but do we want the water actually in the classroom, or are you just going to put them in their bag and they can drink it maybe in the hallway? Any ideas about that? Just one at a time. Yes.
I don't have a problem with it in my classroom, but I really don't want it in the Google lab or in the computer lab, I guess, is what I would say,
I would agree. I drink water all day long, all the time, and I think it helps. The kids need hydration, and if they're getting water, I think it's a fantastic thing. I don't have a problem with it, but I agree, it doesn't need to be where the technology
But
is.
we don't need any Gatorade or Cokes or anything. We're just cooking, and
Agreed.
that's why I'm saying this machine, water machine is going to give me a good segue to talk to the kids about, listen, we got the water machine now, there's no more Cokes or no Gatorades in the classroom, water. That's something I'm going to think about, because I've also heard the other side that, if somebody spills water, it causes a distraction in the classroom, and it could mess something up. So I'm kind of weighing both those options there, so I want to kind of talk to you guys on that.
The other thing is the kids have to be responsible. I had a kid yesterday, had a water bottle, and he was squeezing it and making noise. So, kind of said, hey,
Right.
throw it away, get rid of it. If you can't, so if, yeah.
I got a comment. I may be a little old school on some of this stuff, but if that water fountain was working, they would drink between classes. They wouldn't drink water in your class. They'd go to that water fountain. It doesn't matter to me if we're gonna let them have water, let them have everything. What's the difference? If there's a bottle there, if they got a cup, then we're gonna have an argument, well, is that water, is that a Coke? I mean, I don't think they need to be in the classroom.
That's something we gotta think about. So I'll make the ultimate decision on that. I want to hear you guys' feedback on that. Staff Development Day's coming up. Now, these are days that, there are 2 early release days, 1 full day. We all have to be here on those days. February the 13th is the early release day, and I've got with all the department heads. They've all told me what they're supposed to be doing, so if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing on that day, get with your department head. Everyone should know. It's February 16th, the same thing. I think also we have a textbook company coming on the 16th.
Pearson's coming for social studies and math.
Right, and then the 25th is another early release day, again, see the department head. And then March the 18th is the early release, it's the mandatory STAR training that Cherry does in the library. That's what we'll be doing on that day. Fire drill, we're supposed to have one every month. I don't know what it is, so we're going to have one probably tomorrow or Friday. Okay? Well,
I think there's rain chances tomorrow, so you may want to look at that.
we'll look and see. I'll make sure it's not raining outside. Right. In the food lab, we've used Miss Goss's food lab quite a bit for different functions and everything. If you are going to use that, make sure that you not only tell me, but go tell her or email her so she can put it on her calendar, so she knows to prepare and everything else if something's going to be in there. And standing by your door during class exchanges, this is one of the EOP protocols that they tell us to do. I see some teachers do it religiously. I see a lot of teachers that are never out in the hall at all. So you need to make it a conscious effort to be out in that hall in class exchanges. And again, I know things happen, you got to be in the classroom, but make it the norm and make it the exception not to be out there. Because I know sometimes you have to be in there if you're answering a question or something like that. Next month, February, is Black History Month, so be thinking about going to do something for that, what lessons you may do. And if you are going to do a lesson, I need you to send that to me.
Marla sent out some real good information on that a day or 2 ago.
Right.
Helpful.
And the last thing I just a reminder about the severe weather alert. We had a drill before the holidays. And so that's just a kind of reminder what that looked like. And if you have any questions about what happened with that drill, make sure you come, or concerns, make sure you ask me about that, and we can help you out with that. And then you had some things too.
Couple things. If you have a little behavior problem, if you handle it in your room, call parent, because when you send them down to me and the parent says, I know nothing about this, then that doesn't back up. I've reprimanded him several times, so try to make a contact, even leave a voicemail message, you just say, hey, got a little problem, if you give me a call back. A lot of parents are very receptive and will call you back. Parking passes, Mr. Broussard's helping me. If you don't have one, we have kids parking right here, right outside. They should be parking on the tennis court side, not on this side, or out there, nobody in the
And is there a new one, or can I use the same one I've
This
got?
one right here.
Oh, I don't have that,
If
yeah.
you don't, stop by the office.
Okay.
And textbooks, we're redoing all the textbooks. If you want to, actually, I need for everybody to come by and see Melanie or I. We're going through a lot of stuff. If it's old and outdated and it's not being used, we're chunking it in the garbage. If you want a class set of books, we're trying to make it more efficient for check-in and check-out later on. Also, we're putting barcodes on the outside of every spine, so it should make check-in and check-out much quicker. And last but not least, to go along with what he says, actively monitoring your class. We should do this all the time, because not just when we have a test going on that's state mandated, because it does lessen activity that kids should not be doing.
And then one other thing I forgot about the board meeting, we had the architect from the IBI group that designed the new elementary school. And I don't know if some of you have seen that. Eventually it's going to be put up on the web so you can look, but of course that's what the front's going to look like. I don't know if y'all seen that. And then, you probably can't see this too small, but it'll show the site plan where all the parents going to pick up and everything like that. and what the classrooms are gonna look like.
That's a gym.
Has a gymnasium and a cafeteria, which I didn't know. I thought they were just gonna have the cafeteria, but it is gonna have a gym also, so little Goobers can actually use that. And it's got the timeline also at the very end. And it looks like, in between June and July is when, of next 2016, I guess, is when it'll be finished. Yeah, so,
Where exactly is it gonna be situated?
well, it shows it right on here.
I can barely
Right here where
look
this,
at it.
this is parking right here. This is where the old school used to be.
Okay,
And this is where the parents are gonna go through. So it's gonna be a little bit further over this way, to the, I guess, to the right.
Closer to the,
Closer
mid-
to the fire department, going that way.
Right, I was told it was
Building
gonna be
went that way.
shifted over like where the second grade playground.
Yeah, and
Second, third grade
Okay.
playground
If you
area.
look
this would be 124 right here. This is
Meredith.
Borough Wingate right here.
That
Yeah.
triangle part that kind of goes out, that's the field day field.
oh, okay.
If anybody wants to come look at that, come by and I'll give it to you, but eventually it should be on the website. Thank you.
If you
okay.
didn't sign in, please do so right here.
This reflection is after the January 28th faculty meeting, and faculty meetings are held after the monthly board meetings, and it's a pretty much a lecture style faculty meeting where we meet in the auditorium, and the principal stands in front of the faculty, and there's an agenda, and he talks about each bullet point on the agenda. It's pretty standard in the way that you start off with good things, and then he goes to board meeting, and then whatever else he wants to add to the faculty meeting to discuss. Whenever you look around, I've been attending these meetings since he's been the principal for 7 years, and whenever you look around, there are some active listeners, there's some passive listeners, impatient listeners, and I can't really say that the same passive listeners are passive at every meeting. It does vary based on topic of discussion. So, at this particular faculty meeting in the auditorium, the professional photographer was also setting up for cap and gown pictures. So there was possibly more distraction at this meeting than others. It's also basically, most people don't look forward to, as far as their feelings toward it. It's information that a lot of times could be emailed out or possibly delivered in a different manner. And, we're not exactly fired up at 7:30 in the morning to meet to talk about campus, what's going on. They are held at 7:30 to allow the coaches, since I work at a secondary campus, to allow coaches so that they can attend the meetings and they can still have after school practice and not interfere. The moms, the teachers who are moms or single fathers who are in charge of drop off, it does make it challenging for all of those because you have to make drop off and then meet 8 minutes down the road for a 7:30 faculty meeting. So there is some challenging, and sometimes that makes for some latecomers, but that's the way that the principal has always done it, and he's been approached, but this is our standard. We meet at 7:30 in the morning. As far as how I feel in looking back at the meeting and overhearing it, I feel like I feel like it was unproductive. During the meeting, the principal did ask for input, looking back, and about having water or drinks in the hall, and he said, I'm asking for input, and then he goes on to say, but he'll make the final decision. In week 2 of 5345, there's an article written by Daniel Barron, and he said the title of the article was Consensus Building, a Key of Transformation. And he talked about how faculty meetings can be demoralizing, and that teachers, can feel like, oh God, this is just, it's dreaded, and that's pretty much exactly how our meetings are, unfortunately. So I feel that the article, I live it every month. And it was a nice to see that there are other ways to do things. That, my idea of couldn't we do it this way? Consensus building, decision making is real and it does occur at other schools and it's possible to happen. So yes, we do have some negativity due to I teach at a high school with a high turnover teacher rate, a coach rate. However, you do have your veteran teachers and who are embedded into the community. And, we kind of look at things of, although I'm 10 years on that campus, I am considered a veteran, but I'm still, in my opinion, very new to education. We look at, we have to remain positive, and we are there for the kids. So a campus will always have your naysayers, but it's important to, even whenever campus morale is low, to, stay close to the positive staff members that we have and to build on that and, to not let the negativity drag everyone else down, which sometimes can easily be done. I think the principal tries to overcome this in the monthly meetings by talking about the good things, which is something that was brought into our school by Capturing Kids' Hearts, the Flippin' group, and it has definitely a good intention. And I just wish that sometimes that the information could be given in maybe a different way, not the good things, but the overall presentation of the meeting. As far as, to make the meeting more appealing, we could give out gift cards to people who arrive on time. We could give out little teacher supplies. Everyone loves teacher supplies. We're all kids at heart. So starting it, stay with the positive, but just kind of build on that and, reward those who are doing well and build some maybe initiative programs, something into the meeting. Also, it would be good to actually really try to use consensus building decision making, or as far as your presentation, you could use Today's Meet, which is you could use as a sideboard collaboration tool. Today's Meet is a online discussion board, so you could even use it as a check-in system so that everybody could type their name, good morning, good morning. You would have documentation of whenever they got there. They could ask for feedback. Some people feel uncomfortable in a large auditorium even, to raise their hand and comment. So I think that, Today's Meet would give, sometimes younger teachers have great ideas. They're scared to voice it. They feel more comfortable typing. As far as the engagement, I think engagement is very important whenever you are giving out information, and the engagement level in our faculty meeting is very low. And action, as far as me, in the meeting, I noticed that I need to pay closer attention to my body language and to my facial expressions, because whenever things are said that I possibly might not agree with, or that I find, that's interesting, I definitely, as a future administrator, I need to work on my skills and becoming more aware of how I'm handling my body language and my facial expressions, and just overall gain more composure. I feel that, doing this and learning this in the program and watching myself will help and build to make me a better administrator. Doing this video, I was like, why are we videoing ourselves? But in the end, I definitely, I can see that, it's definitely something, I'm a very expressive person, and I can see that there will be benefits to me and in my future career. I can also see that by videoing, it allowed me to look back and reflect of, well, how could I have said this different, or how could we improve and do this better as a school community? That was my reflection of the January 28th campus faculty meeting. It is January 27th. It is the night before the meeting that I will have with my team, my district instructional team. I'm doing my video tonight because I don't believe that I will have enough time in the morning to get it in. So what I expect tomorrow's meeting to be, it's our first district instructional technology team meeting, simply because, and it's also our first department meeting for this year, official meeting for this year. We recently, on January the 8th, we got a new instructional technologist that joined our team. She'll be working at our intermediate campus, so we are very excited to have her, and so we're going to have a meeting to the district instructional tech is going to head this off with her and just kind of catch her up to date with what's been going on, and possibly I'm thinking I'm not sure what's going to be discussed because it's her meeting, so I'm thinking that it's going to be maybe like what programs she might be over, or what programs she wants her to look into, some technology projects currently that we have going on. It will be held in our new instructional tech's new office, so it'll give us an opportunity to see her new office, and we also, we do know her. Everyone in the district, she currently did work in the district as a third grade teacher, so she'll be joining us, and so we do have somewhat of a relationship of knowing her because it's a small district, but really don't know her. So the meeting part that we'll film will be about business, and then after the meeting we were going to basically just kind of get to know each other of, what kind of background she comes from and her family and everything. I'm not sure exactly how long the meeting will be. I know that sometimes whenever we start talking about projects and we start talking about accounts that we manage or help teachers manage and databases and such, sometimes it can be long. Whenever I think of a long meeting, because it could be as long as 45 minutes, but it could be, something as short as maybe 20 minutes, just kind of getting her feet wet and just simply kind of introduced to things. I'm thinking that it'll be a very informal meeting because it'll be much different than my big faculty meeting. It'll be held in her office, which is a smaller room. It will be held, and there's a small number. There's only 3 instructional techs for the entire district, and our director of technology let us know his son is sick, and so he apologizes. He's not going to be able to attend, which originally he was supposed to attend. So we'll see how this goes, and it'll just be, I think it's going to be informal and yet still have some structure and still cover some of the areas that the district instructional tech needs to with our new addition to the team. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the future, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
So this is going to be our first district instructional tech meeting of 2015. So Morgan, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
How's it been going so far?
Pretty good. I've had some trouble trying to go around and troubleshoot things, but I'm learning, so it's good.
And I feel like that's taken up a lot of our time, like working on the smart boards and, looking at just different computer issues. And I'm concerned about with testing coming up and going to that lab and getting all those plugins fixed, but that's something we can kind of look at it.
Are you
as we
talking
go
about for
forward.
Telpass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it should be probably not as big a deal, but that's just something that we need to be thinking about.
Okay.
So
Do you know when that's coming up?
it's going to be, the window is the 2nd to the 26th, but I don't
Okay.
know when the actual test date is. So that's something we talked to Janet Carter about at the high school. But last year, like I said, I just went and did plugins, and then he actually would do the proctor caching on the computers.
Okay.
So on the,
I guess we just need to get with Faye about.
yeah,
when.
and just
Okay.
like get a firm date. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so I want to talk about the inventory system that we have currently in place.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, when I came on, it was explained to me that Michelle Olivier at the admin building was sort of the inventory person, but something had happened to her computer that had the program running, so now the only computer that has the inventory system is Sherry Drawhorn's computer. So the problem was that Michelle she would get the paperwork in, and it would take her a long time to get in the system, and it's an outdated system. It's like from 1995. So I guess.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so it's really old. So in November, I guess, of this year before you started, it might have been sooner than that, Stephen talked to Marla and I about having an inventory system that is just for the technology department, so we were going to take it over. Since then, we haven't really made any firm plans. I know Marla had made a spreadsheet, like a possible
I was
way
going
to
to say, are we
document.
taking it over with the same old system that we have, or
Well,
are we
basically,
devising something?
The way, okay, because last year at the end of the year, they would print out, and you'd probably got those sheets, like the printouts from the system, and you'd have to confirm
Yeah.
like what is in your room and what's not. That is so outdated
Yeah.
that it's pretty much useless in my estimation. So we're going to be, I don't know if we're going to start from that. I know Marla has records from when they got new memory at the high school, and I have some records from doing some updates here, basically just a spreadsheet that has different column headings. I can actually pull it up and show you. But the problem is going to be, in my mind, is that Stephen was talking about having a spreadsheet, but I don't know that it's going to be robust enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To do that much inventory.
Yeah, because, and we're gonna have to figure out what do we need to track and what don't we need to track. You know, that
Shouldn't
falls under
ideally
our-
we have it all barcoded and be able to scan it instead
We
of?
should. The Destiny system, I know Marla has mentioned there is a piece that will let you catalog technology, but I don't know if we've paid for that necessarily. If that's a part of the suite that we have, I don't know that much about it. But that's probably the system that we would have that would work
Yeah.
for that purpose. So that's something we'll have
That's
to
a lot easier than.
than keying everything
Yeah.
into a spreadsheet. I totally agree. Because how are you gonna, you'd have the database there and you could update it a lot easier than going into a
Yeah.
spreadsheet. So this is what I have, and I'll just kind of turn this so you can see. Oh no, that's not it. That's not all inventory. See? Things like this. I love Google Docs, but I don't think that's going to be enough for us to actually.
I think it's just going to be way too time consuming to keep it updated accurately.
I mean, that may be all that we have. And I'm thinking about, like, with the obsolescence plan for TCEA, that would be our first step, is to catalog what we actually have. So, let me see. It's in computers.
That's the thing too. I've noticed is we have stuff everywhere.
We do. And, like, there at the high
in
school,
every closet.
there's a closet that has got just, like, dead computers
hallway.
in it. Yeah.
Janitor's room.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty bad. Intermediate computer.
Third grade portable. Like just
Middle school.
random.
Oh, I know.
So how do we know what we have?
We're literally just gonna have to go through and just like, just work.
Just
through
find it all and-
I really think so.
Is this something for the summer we're looking at doing?
I think it should be. So lucky
Okay.
you, lucky you. But so this is what I have right now. So I've got the. Can you see that? I've got the room number and the teacher, and then if it's a teacher computer or a student computer, and then the model and the name currently. This has not been updated recently, which is going to be a
Okay. problem.
Is how do we make? We'll have to like schedule times to update this. That's how much RAM it has as an operating system, whether Avast is updated, and I put their. This is like all of their classroom technology, so we wouldn't be able to use this. I put their document camera, projector, and their smart versions and all that stuff. So I have a little bit of information, and I know Stephen wants to have a Google form that we send out, and then teachers would fill it out. And I think Marla has done some work on that. Yeah, because that would give us a starting point, but we may have to go through and we're gonna have to make it really like
Simple,
simplified.
yeah.
Because we've got so many different models of computers, especially with the HPs. I don't know if you've probably seen those. They don't have like a model number. It's just
Nope.
like the big HP or the little HP.
Yeah, where do you find the model number?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think you could probably, sometimes you can look at the computer properties and it'll tell you, and sometimes it doesn't always pop up. So that's kind of the challenge.
Okay.
The inventory, just, I'm sure you know this, but the inventory numbers, like the lowest I've ever seen is like, I've never seen anything under 1,000, but I have seen things in the thousands, so that's probably from like, you know, at least like 6 or 7 years ago. So, and if it's in the, like right now, like our newest tags are in the 5,000s.
Oh, okay.
So everything that gets a barcode, we're still going to use the same barcodes from the administration building, but we're just going to track those ourselves.
I wonder if those same barcodes will work in the Destiny system.
I think they should, because it's just like a key and it would be able to scan that. We wouldn't have to retag everything, as far as I know.
Dude, I think we should look at that.
Yeah.
It'd be way easier.
I think so too. I just don't know if it's going to be a money issue, but we're still going to have to go to the classrooms and like get help from the teachers and say, tell us what you have and what you don't.
So basically, maybe like in May, we could plan some days and say, we're not available. We're inventorying.
Yeah, I think
That's what it's going to take.
I would say at least, yeah, like a week.
Yeah.
You know, just to get a handle on it. And we're going to have it all set up, ready to go, and that way we don't have, because like what I have here, like I got kind of halfway through this, and I'm like, well, I don't necessarily like this format, you know what I mean? So, I forgot why I color-coded these. But most of another thing is that computers will get moved around, and our naming system is based on where they are, and so sometimes that can be a problem if we need to remote into a computer. If it's named incorrectly, you can't get into it. So that's another.
So we really need to go back and rename the ones that are incorrect.
Yeah, and if you look on my spreadsheet, like I showed you before, the ones that say like Travis and Ikra and Ben and Andrew, there's some like Travis 7, Travis 6. Those need to be renamed, and there's some SFE ones too. That would be Stephen.
Okay.
That just never got renamed. So, if we had an inventory system, I think we could make an obsolescence plan. Because
So really the inventory system's first.
I think so. That makes sense to me. Because you can't say what's obsolete if you don't know what you have.
True. Alrighty. And that's one of their recommendations, right? TCA had for us is to make an obsolescence program.
Yes.
Okay.
And Stephen's probably told you that he had, he made like an informal one, as far as I can tell. I don't know if he had like firm numbers, and based on what he presented to the board.
Oh yeah, he did say that. He did that a couple years ago, or last year or the year before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got shot down because of the cost. So, that's, yeah. So at least we have TCA backing us up. We can at least make a plan. And one thing that I would like to see more of is with the success of the Chromeboxes at the high school, really, if you are a teacher and you don't need like iStation and you don't need like those discs, we could replace the student computers with Chromeboxes or Chromebooks even.
I think that would be a good option.
They cost about, like for the whole setup, it's like $300, $350, compared to a computer that's about $600.
So there's not like an online version of iStation you can do. It has to be.
It has to run on a machine.
Okay.
Yeah, or an iPad.
Alrighty. Well, we have iPads, so maybe that could be a solution.
Yes.
Because all the campuses have iPads.
Today I'm going to try and put it on the middle school iPads and see if that will actually run. And if it wasn't working on one of the iPad ones, so I'm a little, not very hopeful about that actually pulling up, but we'll see.
What's the other thing in your agenda you had?
Thank you. Special ed. I talked to you a little about that. We're part of the Gulf Coast Co-op, and some things I just need to get like clarified in writing. Like, what do we put tags on? What do we not? Because they do have some computers and some things that belong to them, and they will take them back if they break, and they'll replace them. Other things we pay in, it's ours. We put a barcode on it. I don't know if we barcode everything, you know, or how that process works.
Okay.
So that's something I need clarification on, and we would definitely need to know that before we started inventorying everything. I also put on here wireless MAC addresses. I've already got most of these, but if we're going to be inventorying things like laptops or if mobile devices, anything on the Wi-Fi, we need to have its MAC address, because that way we'll be able to track that and possibly move to a whitelisting system. I think I talked to you about that.
Yep.
So that's, you know, that's another concern. I really hope we hire somebody. Before, maybe we should say we'll do inventory contingent on having somebody come in and help, because that would be, you know.
Tremendous.
Yeah, because we're not really supposed to be over hardware. It's just that we can't do our jobs if
Without,
hardware doesn't
yeah.
work. Yeah.
Okay, so he did say yesterday that we were looking at, he needed to get on that again. So hopefully he'll get on it.
And he was talking about that, this possible student coming on.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey.
Maybe that's something we can do.
And did you
really
say it was a
quickly.
female student?
I think so.
That we would be 4-1. That'd be good. That'd be odds in our favor. I'm all for that.
Do you know who that would be? What female student? No? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't say a name or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope.
Because he said she's graduating, like, she's still in school. I thought he meant college, though, right? We're talking about...
Yeah, he
okay,
still
okay.
he meant college.
But I thought maybe it might have been someone from here that he knew. Like,
That's,
you know.
I mean, at this point, we kind of have to hire HF graduates because, like, why?
Why
You know.
else they come here? Yeah.
For that, especially in that position, or if they had kids, but none of those two people we interviewed had kids, because they're like, hey, you know, come work for the district, bring your kids, it's a great school. That's
And
what I
they're
was
like,
thinking.
Yeah.
But no, that didn't work out. So, that's what I'm thinking for inventory. Get somebody else to do it. That'd be my ideal thing, but I mean, really, it's good for us to know, and I've learned a lot about the different models and different issues they've had. So it's not bad information. It's just, you know, the less you know about that, the less you're able to fix. So, anything else on your mind?
No, not that I can think of. I need to look into trying to get my principal to buy some more devices, which has been interesting because he wants to, but it's difficult to get like a firm answer.
And I feel like the clock is ticking, and like the more tickets that I work on, the less it's actually, like the possibilities like slipping through my fingers, because I think that the elementary needs like somebody to
More.
be pushing them on that.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I feel like I'm doing them a disservice. So I agree. You know, has he gotten with you about a visit to?
No, and that's one of the things, because I think the last we talked, you had emailed him about a different date, right?
Yes.
Okay, he hasn't said anything to me about the different date, and I'm assuming he hasn't emailed you either about...
No.
Okay, maybe I just need to go in there and visit with him.
Yeah,
today.
and get with Candace if you can, because I know that's who he's wanting to send. But I emailed the Hardin lady and said, hey, what about the 12th? Would that work? Because I'm still waiting on a statement
Yeah.
from the principal. And she hasn't replied, so I think I just need to call her again in person. I may even get him to call her, because I'm like...
Why don't we do that? Because that way they can kind of coordinate that, and that might be better.
We can get out of the middle.
Yeah. And they can ward each other. Hopefully I won't be like jury duty on the 12th. No.
When are you supposed to be out?
The 11th.
Okay.
But, I mean, surely I can get kicked out of jury duty quickly. Not have to go.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
next day.
you could probably tell them that you had like a work trip. Just put it like that, and they can reschedule you. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Somebody told me it's hard to get out of. Like, you have to have a really, really, really good reason, because they've cracked down on people or something.
I was
So I was
just
like,
told when I
okay.
was in school. I guess I could say that now.
You can say that
yeah,
now.
because you're like, oh,
Eh.
yeah, I'm a student.
That's the only thing that I'm like, that's on my mind is because I'm thinking, okay, well, it's February, it'll be March before we know it. All the money's going to start being spent. I need to get in there and make sure that he is committed to, because we only really have one set of iPads. And the last time I talked to him about it, he's like, well, we do have 2 computer labs. And I'm like, yeah, but one of them apparently doesn't work very well because no one wants to go to it. Because the computers are so
that back
old.
row computers, there are some old HPs and some 320s on the other side as well. And those,
And so the teachers are like, meh, I'm not, unless you absolutely have to, they don't like to go to that lab. So,
what was he referencing in the lab, like as a way that they could get to their digital content?
yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like,
Don't back
well,
out now.
I know. I was like, well. So he said he's interested. He just needs to explore it. And I'm like, well, let's explore. That's why I'm here. And he hasn't said anything else. So
Wait,
I think the bats kind of got him messed up, like off. 'cause
that always happens. Yeah, like the power outage.
We had the
and-
power outages and the bats started coming back. So he like lost focus.
Yeah, because he's under scrutiny for like taking care of his campus. But it's like, what, you can't get them a digital book and then
I
not
know.
get them a device.
I
That's
know.
not going to work.
So I was like, okay. So really, we have the one computer lab for every teacher if you're talking about being able to get to that stuff. So, and then Faye came in right after that and said that she really wants me to push them using that sort or not. Yes, the Sortex Success on the Go Math because it's has like digital testing and the kids can test digitally on it and they have to take the STAR tests on the computer. So she wants those kids for sure. That's why we were putting all those names
Yeah.
to Go Math. So she wants those kids for sure testing on the computer. But I'm like, where are they going to test? Because they don't have access to a computer.
Is that star modified or star alt or?
I didn't ask her.
I think it's alt because that's what Monica was looking at, and I saw some of the paperwork, and I think that's because it's got like the little, it will read aloud certain words. So that's what I've been saying. Like when we did that whole presentation, it's like the reason Texas wants us to be 1-to-1 is because they're going to go to online testing.
Right.
So
The kids have to test online.
we have to have them devices so they can be familiar with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what Hardin Jefferson does because they have. I know they have labs, but they have. Their kids are used to doing stuff on an iPad, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they do stuff on the regular computers, but
That was the only thing, I mean, that I really need to work on, like, soon, getting him committed to that, because I don't know how we're going to make that work with one computer lab.
yeah.
And lots of people that need to use it.
Well, it's the same thing at the middle school. They've got the digital book for the math classes, but when can they can't take advantage of it really. So then they went and spent money on the paper books.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be great in 5 years.
I know, so our IMA money is like shrinking down. So that's, and like Russell Tridico was saying, you can't buy books for now, you have to buy stuff for 8 years. Like,
Right.
where are you going to be in 8 years? And I'm like, maybe we'll have 3 carts of Chromebooks in 8 years.
Yeah.
Because at the rate we're going, we're not going to be anywhere close to where we need to be, sadly. So, well, let me know. I can get with you today and show you the quotes that I have, and I can give you Arvin Agbay's number. He's
Okay.
our CDWG rep,
Okay.
and you'll like him. He's a funny guy.
Alright.
But he just likes to call a lot. But we can see what that would actually cost, and we can look at that cart of laptops and
Okay.
see if that would actually work.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so hopefully we can get some more devices and take care of inventory at some point. And then we're going to have a meeting with the elementary planner and TCEA, and then we're going to go to TCEA. So we're going to be really busy.
February's a busy month.
Yes, it definitely is. So,
All right.
all right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for meeting with me. I appreciate it.
All right.
This is my second reflection for my observation of a meeting that I did. The meeting was held on January the 28th at 8:30 at the at the intermediate campus. It was held. It was a department, but also a district instructional technology meeting. The purpose of the meeting was to meet with the newly hired instructional tech and just give her, catch her up on some projects and such that we currently have going on and answer any questions that she might have. The meeting was held in Morgan's office, and she will be our new intermediate campus instructional tech. And this was my first opportunity to see her office, so it was a good chance for me to, although we've spoke over the phone and she's come to my campus and see what I had done last week, it was a good chance for me to see now that she's kind of settled in. That's the description. Moving on to the feelings. The district instructional tech set the meeting up, and it was held at a time that was convenient for everyone. The district instructional tech and myself are really looking forward to the meeting because we're really excited to have someone else on our team that would be able to help our staff. Working for a small district, we're kind of stretched thin and at times, so we're just really excited to have someone great on staff to help us out. When I watched the video, I heard Morgan's voice and I could hear her uncertainty, and it really reminded me of how I felt whenever I first started in the technology department, because it can be pretty overwhelming with the questions that you have, and if you don't have a strong networking background or hardware background, then there's definitely a lot of questions. And I definitely could relate to her uncertainty, and I'm looking forward to helping her because I saw myself a lot in her at this meeting. Both the district instructional tech and myself find it easy to get along with her. We are looking forward to working with her. We think she's going to do a fantastic job. She just has that attitude, and she's a go-getter, and she's definitely not just going to sit around and wait to be told to do things. So that'll be nice that she will be able to help our staff. Evaluation, the meeting was held in Morgan's office, and we didn't have any interruptions. Her office is held in the intermediate library, and we closed the door and we had our meeting, and there weren't any interruptions. So it was, we got to go through what was on the district instructional's agenda, and there was a little bit of small talk here and there. Nothing that got us off task, but it was just an informal meeting. Again, the purpose primarily was for informational purposes for Morgan, since she was hired mid-year, to really catch her up on what's happening, like what projects we have going on, what we did in the fall, and what upcoming projects that we have. I work 8 miles down the road, so I won't be her primary contact, but it's just 8 miles down the road, so I will be able to help her because I do have a lot of hardware experience, so hopefully I can help her in that. As far as I think that the conclusion of this would be that after watching the video, I think that it went very well. I do not really see any changes that would need to be made. Excuse me, I've been sick this week. Most of the information I already knew, so I did feel like I did have positive body language and facial expressions and nodding and everything, so I was involved. Yet I know myself in the look in my eyes that I was kind of bored at times just because I've heard some of this information so much. But I don't think that it didn't show for anyone else. I just think that I can always continue to grow and work on, controlling your facial expressions and your body language. And I did notice that whenever I wanted to add to conversation, that I kind of tend to bite my lip a little bit. So that is definitely something that I can work on. So doing this video observation was actually, although I thought it was kind of cheesy in the beginning, I think it's going to work out well and allow me to have some personal and professional growth. So that was really good because I didn't know that I did that. So the meeting again was informal. It was just to welcome her to our team and answer questions of uncertainty for her. I think that the time that it was about 20 minutes long, it fit in. We started at about 8:30. It just fit into our day, and we all have several projects that we're working on and help desk tickets and everything. So I do believe that the allotted time that we had and everything, it was perfect. And you can't overwhelm someone with too much information at a time. So just telling her a little bit at a time. We met a little bit last week, and like I said, this was our second meeting, so we talked about things a little bit more. And as she gets her feet wet and learns about her campus and what software and programs and everything she has going on and what hardware, and that she will have more questions and she will know and what to ask. And we have more meetings coming, and so I think that just giving her a little bit of information at a time to soak in will be better versus flooding her with the information. It was in a great location. It was convenient for all of us, and it was at a place where we made her feel welcome. It was her office, so it was her grounds, not ours. The district instructional tech, she's, in control of meetings several times a month, a week. She's been doing this. So, she knew she had an agenda and she had items that she wanted to talk about, and from the first time that they met. And what she did, like I said, we went through the agenda of what she planned on discussing, but then we also talked about some things like, we kind of got off subject just a little bit. But I think that allows the new person on our team just to kind of just be relaxed and get to know us. And, it wasn't anything that was detrimental to the meeting. So I think that it had a great workflow, and it was successful. It was to the point, informational, to the point, yet successful, everything. At this time, as far as the action, I just don't believe that there's really any changes that would need to be made to this, excuse me, to this style meeting. From what I observed, I think that, again, the time, the relevant of the day, the time, everything was right on. The time frame, how long it lasted, the information that she was able to soak in. I do believe that she'll be a good asset to have. She has some things to follow up on, and I think that she's going to definitely follow up on those. And at our next meeting, I know that she'll probably bring those things up. The leader of the meeting, she knew what she wanted to cover, so we covered those. And at this time, I just think that it was a perfect short meeting, just a second time, just to get Morgan really caught up in everything. So at this time, I don't think there would be any changes that need to take place. And I look forward to working as a team of all three of us. And it was a good opportunity for me to have some personal growth and to reflect back on seeing myself and what I can do better to improve.